What's going on, everybody? Josh with AlphaDayTrading.com, and today we're going to dive into a live trade recap. I'm going to walk you guys through step by step on why I took my trades, what I took in the first place, my entries, my exits, how I really mapped everything out, what I saw, just so you guys can see what I'm seeing and why I'm trading what I'm trading, and ultimately how I was able to lock in money today, trading options, trading penny stocks on a small account, guys. So I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget, do me a big favor, hit that thumbs up, thumbs down, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, guys, you guys get updated on our lessons, our recaps, our morning watch list. Hit that little notification bell. And also a new feature, if you guys want our morning watch list, go ahead and text. I think it's going to be somewhere here. Go ahead and text Alpha to that number, and you're going to get our morning watch list with all the hottest press releases, the top stocks. You're going to get pictures and snippets of the high-of-the-day momentum scanners, pre-market movers, guys. All this absolutely free. So again, do me one solid favor. Hit that like button, thumbs up, thumbs down, smash the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Most importantly, text Alpha to that number. Again, it's going to be somewhere edited over here. And I'll send you guys that morning newsletter every single morning, absolutely free. But let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and dive into today's trade recap. Doing that whatsoever. So HTZ. That's HTX. HTZ. All right. So 160K buy block. HTZ taken out in 3 seconds to the downside. Got in at 341. I mean, honestly, from the technical standpoint, you were trying to nail the bounce. I get it, right? I absolutely see this 110%, right? You had your little, pre-market resistance broke through. You had your nice little 1 minute candle retest before a big time push came down and bounced, coming down again, looking for that second bounce for a quick little scalp. The only thing that I personally didn't like about it is that it was under VWAP at that time. I don't know when you took the trade, right? But at 341, would have been down here off that support, yes, but the fact that it was under the VWAP just would have concerned me a little bit because, above the VWAP, bullish, below the VWAP, bearish, new resistance with support, really, really tight here. That was a tricky one. I like the setup. I like the idea of getting that bounce. If that's was kind of the technicals behind it, I would say. So number one was just the VWAP right there, and number two, it was the second bounce, right? It was the second bounce. The second bounces, from my trading experience, I guess, is when you get these second bounces, they're not as strong. 80% of the time, they will fail and crack. But, there are those chances that 20% of the time, well, it will bounce nice off a big double bottom. But that's when we got to wait and see these other little areas of short-term resistance break. What do I mean by short-term resistance? So if we were looking at this here, right? It's moving on down, officially building lower highs. You can kind of throw a little bit of this downtrend on it if you wanted to, right? So you see we already got our big first bounce off that area. If you're looking for that second bounce, you see it come down, you want to wait for the short-term resistance break and put in a higher low. So you see it bounce, you took your entry, we couldn't get above, right? And then it just kind of failed right there. So how I would have traded this, assuming VWAP was off the table, right, is you see the bounce come down, right? You see that you have this past area of support. You see that it is new resistance right around that 350. I would have waited for the break of that 350. See some strength, see some volume, see the bid step up for another quick little pullback, put in that higher low for a push off the 350, then taking the entry. That's one of those, again, few seconds too early. I'd rather be a few seconds too late, wait for the full break, the new hold of support to show that that is officially a double bottom. We put in a higher low, and we do have some strength to push off of. But overall, it was a good trade. I mean, like you said, you're not disappointed in it whatsoever. Overall, was not a bad trade at all due to the technicals of it. I just kind of noticed, again, this is good doing this, having someone look from outside the box. What do they see? And I love when you guys do this for me as well. So not critiquing it in a bad way, critiquing it in a good way, just so we learn. And you guys can do this anytime for me if you see something that I don't see, right? Because there are quite a few times that I get that analysis paralysis and I don't really see the big picture. So it's good doing this. But I did see, number one, the VWAP, the fact that we were below it, struggling to get back above. And then secondly, just getting back over that little short-term resistance area to put in a successful higher low to get your nice bottom push off that. Chew you? I'm never going to chew you out, man. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not going to happen. And that was a good approach, right? You had your eyes on the level 2. That's what you have to do. Day trading, eyes on the level 2, right? You see you have that area of support. So I already know what's going through your mind. If we come down to this 340, 341, I'm looking at level 2. You see a big buy, right? You said you saw a 16K or 160K buy order. That was a strong order, right? And you started to see that bounce, but then it came down and got taken out probably right here. And he got just chopped out and chewed out, and you did the right thing by cutting your losses quick. So I like everything. You had a great plan. You had a great approach. Don't change that. Your technicals are on point. Your visuals at that level 2 and reading that level 2 and seeing that big order was on point. And the second you saw him get taken out, you cut your losses. Boom, you're good. You did that flawlessly, right? You did it flawlessly. So give yourself some props, man. Pat yourself on the back. You executed it, to a T. In and out, trade plan, tight stop, reading the level 2. The technicals are on point. Now it's just trying to apply more areas of technical, right? Not just one area. So what do we see here? I always say 2 to 3 reasons to take a trade, right? I'm very, very picky about my trade. 2 to 3 reasons. So boom, you come down. We have one reason. Bounce off support, right? If VWAP was right underneath, you say, hey, there's 2 reasons. We have 2 levels of support. We have VWAP right here, and we have this past area, right? Now, if we would have pushed and got back above that old area of resistance, old support, new resistance back above, boom, 3 reasons to take a trade. Now, you're like, okay, so now I have support that we held. We have VWAP support that we're above 2, and we got back above that resistance area, short-term resistance, back above, trying to hold a support, right? There's 3, and we got that 16K block down there of bids holding the stock up. Boom, right there. 3 to 4 reasons to take that trade. You're extra confident now because you have multiple separate reasons why that would be a good area to go long. I do want to go into a quick little recap while we have some time and talk about a couple trades that I took on the day and a couple trades that we alerted here in chat. Well, number 1, we were all over this in pre-market. ENOB, right, guys? So ENOB with a great press release about an FDA meeting in regards to an HIV treatment or solution or whatever the press release was. It was a great press release on HIV treatment, right? And so this stock ran big from, where did it close on Friday? Like $4, $4.50. And we hit highs of $19.46. We had so much momentum in this stock. And we noticed it as it was right around the $16 mark, all right? So I'm like, man, I can't buy this high, right? I can't buy this high. This stock just went from $5, $8, $10, $12, $14, now we're at $16. If I buy this, I'm chasing the top. Then I look at it this way as well. This is a pure momentum trade. You could say it's a FOMO trade, right? And if you understand this is a chase, you're chasing it. You understand that you have your emotions in check, like my emotions were in check. I wasn't buying it, fear of missing out. I was like, oh, I got to buy it or I'm going to miss out on a big move. No, I'm like, okay, if I buy it here, technically it's a FOMO trade. I'm buying it at the top, all right? But there is momentum. We do have increased volume. We have a good press release. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to go heavy on my shares. I'm like very, very small share size, like a couple hundred shares, right? Keep it very small, very tight, and I'm looking for the break in the continuation move. If it doesn't work out, I'll get out quick for a small, like $50, $60 loss. I understood what I was getting myself into. The reason they're FOMO trades, right, is because traders, literally, their emotions cloud their judgment, and they buy for no apparent reason, with no set trade plan, with no execution as far as entry and exit. They're buying to buy because they fear of missing out on a big time move because it already went from $4 to $14. What if it goes from 14 to 30 to 50, right? That's a FOMO trade. So as an experienced trader, someone that understands, you know, you can take trades like this. But again, it's just, okay, I got to keep my share size small. I have to keep it tight. I still have my exit, you know, as far as my stop goes. So my first trade was right here along this push. I saw the increased volume. I saw us pushing over pre-market high of that 16.60 cents. So I was scaling in 100 shares through 16. I was scaling in through that 16.51. And I saw it push up. I took half, pulled back right at my break-even price. I never stopped out because I was like maybe a penny above my break-even price. I still had some profit on the table, and boom, I took this up until like the 18.5s. So I was able to lock in a quick $400, $500 here in pre-market. Even though I was buying at the top, I understood why I was buying. We had the press release. It was the momentum. We had the volume. And I understood what I was getting myself into to take this trade. After that, I did not buy it again. I did not buy it again. I already made my quick early morning profit. It worked out. Boom, I'm done. Now what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for a pullback, right? I'm waiting for a dip buy. So I'm noticing that we have a good area right here around the area that I bought, right? Right around that first area that I took this trade for the long side. Now I'm looking at it for a possible dip buy, right? Because we have resistance, resistance, resistance. We broke out, good volume, came down, tested it. Now you have anywhere from 1610 up towards around that 1666 mark would be the best area. So I have some orders at 16.4, 16.5, 16.6 just to see where this bounce is going to be. And I have a very tight stop loss. Very tight stop loss because I want this to come down and bounce no lower than 16 and get a nice push off of it. So I'm waiting. I have orders in the system. Boom. Comes down right there. I also notice at this point in time that we have VWAP curling up right at 16 as well. So that is a good area to put stops under as VWAP. So I'm feeling good about this trade for a nice bounce play off old resistance with VWAP support. I also notice that momentum is curling back down to where when we get towards around the 1641 area, that should be low enough to indicate that we could push off that area of support. So right now I'm gathering multiple different reasons to take this trade. So right here, I was filled. So I was filled right around that 1642, I think was my fill. ENOB. Yep, 1642 was my fill. I was getting a little, got filled again. Now I have a heavy position. Got a heavy position, right? And my stop was so close to being hit. Like, I mean, I was so close to being hit right there at that 15.5. And I almost stopped out. I did. And if this would have closed, if we would have got that candle close underneath VWAP, right? If that would have closed under VWAP and not, you know, pushed back above and closed above, I would have been stopped out. And I probably would have taken a good, man, I don't even know. I had, how many shares did I have on that trade? 2, because I had 500, 500, 500, 500. I probably would have taken probably $1,000 loss, guys. Just be completely transparent with you. And I was very close to taking the loss. I saw the close above VWAP. I held, and I'm so glad I did because I was able to scale out along this push into the 17s. And I was able to make, probably, I think it was like $2,400. You know, I'm going to edit all that in for you guys too on the recap. I posted that up in chat. But I was able to kind of get those nice averages along that 1641 down to the 1610, 16, exactly how I said where we could go. That wick almost flushed me out. Didn't stop out. I'm glad I didn't. I was very close. I got that nice little push, and I scaled out along the push, and I held a piece left, and I took it right above 16.5. So overall, it was a really solid trade. Looks like on that trade, I had a total of 3,000 shares. Man, it all happened so fast, and we've taken so many trades today. We've done so much in chat that I can't remember how many shares I had, but I had a total of, looks like, just about 3,000 shares on that trade, and I was able to lock in just about $2,400 on that trade. No, it wasn't $2,400, was it? Gosh, how do I not know this shit, guys? You're like, what? How do you not know? Yeah, it was $2,400. No, it was $2,000 because I made the $400 or $500 on the first trade. So I made $2,000 on that trade. So total P&L after that second trade was $2,400, right? So it was $2,400. And then I was looking at it. I don't think I traded it again. I just took the $2,400 and I was like, you know, I'm going to call it a day, guys. I'm going to call it a day. We saw it. We wanted to buy down here around that 951 mark. Never got another entry on it. Just wasn't really feeling it here intraday on ENOB. So our only trades were our trades here off this high day break. Quick $400 or $500. Quick little VWAP bounce. Nice, you know, $1,200 or so, which put me up towards around $2,400 on those two trades. 2482.67 on those two trades total on ENOB, right? And ENOB was just a great setup, guys. Now let's talk about my favorite stock today, FTSI. My absolute favorite stock. You guys are probably looking at the chart if you guys are watching this recap like, that was your favorite stock? Dude, this stock sucks. You're right. This stock had no volume, had no activity. It was just, there's dead, right? This stock was number 15 on the leaderboard, guys. We're doing our pre-market analysis. Live stream commentary just started up, and we'll go over on our watch list. I'm like, look at all these high float stocks. 138, 248, 1411. These are high float stocks, guys. Very high float. So I don't really expect anything to rip and run. DGLY, slow and steady, but not a crazy rip and run. SINO, didn't really do a whole lot, right? ADIL, tried to get a quick little pop, you know, got halted. We missed the entry out of the halt, never came down to the area, but again, it faded on off. So look at all these stocks, guys, that are just really just kind of not doing a whole lot. I mean, DGLY right now, starting to move on up, but at that time, it was just fading on down, losing volume. So this morning, I'm like, let's just scroll through our top penny stock gainers and losers and see if we have a low float stock. So we notice MXC, right? MXC, no news whatsoever. We're like, scratch it. We got to have a reason. ICD had news. So we had ICD on our watch list. And then we had FTSI on our watch list. FTSI with an 8K filing. FTSI 1.53 million in float, right? We were looking at CTI though. CTI was another one we had on our watch list. Was it CTI, guys? I'm going batshit crazy. ICD. What am I doing? ICD. ICD. But again, it just never really did anything for us, right? It just never had any kind of setup. You know, it was just like, okay, yeah, it's a low float. It's got a press release, but it's not really doing anything. Let's go look at FTSI. Oh, look at FTSI, guys. I'm like, okay, low float penny, right? Very choppy, no volume, but we do have pre-market highs right there around that 15.25, and we're above VWAP, right? And I see these little bit of higher lows starting to form right above VWAP, nice consolidation. Everything else in the market's fading on off. So I say, you know what, guys? I want to give this a go. I want to go 500 shares with it. This was when the stock's price was at like 14.4. I got filled at 14.41, and my stops were going to be below VWAP and below $14. So I was risking like 30 to 40 cents on 500 shares. I was already up $2,400 on the day that I was okay with risking a couple $100 to see if FTSI was going to get that big time breakout. And we talked about it an hour before the move even happened. This could be our low float sleeper play of the day when everything else fades on off. Again, it was number 15 on the leaderboard. No one's talking about FTSI. Everybody's looking at ENOB, SDRL, SPCB, MITT. You know, these are the top 10 on the leaderboard. This is where everybody's looking at today. No one's down here into the 15s and the 20s. Why are we? Because it's a low float stock with a catalyst, right? It's a low float stock with a catalyst. It is a past runner. This stock at one point went from $11 all the way to $31. So this is a past mover, and it's a low float. And we said it could be our low float sleeper play, guys. When everything else fades on off, this could really make a big time move. So I'm buying this. 500 shares. We see a big sell block at like, what, 1457, right? It was like 20K. No, I'm sorry. What was it? Was it 10K? It was a big boy order. It was a big boy order. It was like 20,000 shares, 19,000 shares at 1457. I'm in at 1441. And I said, if I can see volume moving, the bid step up, and we take him out, I'm going to take another 500 shares on this trade. We took him out. Big time volume, big time spike, and I am simply scaling out, guys. I take 500 along this candle. I take another 500 here. Was able to lock in $849.92, all verbally alerted over the live stream here in chat. As you guys knew, I was in this trade at that 1441, and I was even saying, I'm going to stop out. I'm just going to cut it. I don't like it. It's not doing anything. Let me get it a few more seconds. I'll go ahead and honor my plan. $14 stops. That's what I'm risking. If I see the push and I see the move, and I was like almost calling it quits. I almost called it quits. Really glad I didn't, because this stock from our alert around that 14.5 mark all the way to 18.63 3. Guys, 100 shares, a $1,400 investment. You can make $200, $300, $400 on this stock. Potentially up to $400 on 100 shares. Guys, very predictable stuff, right? Again, low float sleeper play, had a press release, had a filing, down in the leaderboard, like number 15 or 20 on the leaderboard, but it was a low float. And what did we say? When stocks fade on off, activity leaves these other stocks, the mob shifts, the majority of buyers go hunting for something else, right? They want to see something move, rip, run. They want something to move. Where are they going to go? They're going to their leaderboard and they're going to say, oh, FTSI number 15, 1.5 million in float. Why is it up? Boom. We have a reason. Okay, let's start buying. Let's start buying. Let's start buying. Boom, 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 boom. Big time burst, big time rip, big time move. All psychology of trading, guys. It's just all the psychology. Getting in the minds of other traders. That's what I was thinking. When these stocks fade on off, what's going to move? Well, where's our first low float penny? Boom, right here. I'm looking at it. I'm ready to go. I'm prepared. I'm in. And I get in before the herd. All because I'm already thinking, what are they going to think? Right? So super predictable stuff, guys. All psychology. Beautiful play here. Was able to lock in $849.92, which puts me at my biggest day of 2020. Right? Last week I was 1,300, 1,400, 1,500. Some of my biggest days of 2020. $3,692.95 on the day. This is now putting me close to $10,000 on the month for the month of June. And another big day for 2020. And at this pace, guys, I know by the end of this year, you will see a $10,000 day. And that will be my biggest trade of all time. Biggest trade of all time. I had a big boy trade back in 2019. Fran, you remember FRAN? Made like $7 grand on FRAN, $4 grand, something like that on FRAN. One of my biggest trades ever. And I still haven't broken my biggest trade ever, but I've had my biggest day. FRAN was a swing trade that I made some money on. But my biggest day trade today, especially 2020, $3,692.95. And you guys will see, I'm very confident, you will see a $10,000 day by the end of this year. So that's really our recap, guys. That's what we were looking at today as far as pennies, FTSI, entries, exits, the reasoning behind it. ENOB, same exact thing. Reasons it was moving up, entries, exits, you know, the whole breakdown, full transparency, guys. I'm going to edit in that P&L for you so you guys can see that as well. As I have 2 different setups. I live stream on my desktop, and I have all my other applications open on the Mac, or I'm going to tie it up and it'll just keep crashing on me like it was doing for a couple weeks. So if you guys do have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. For you viewers over on YouTube, drop some comments below for me. If you guys have any questions on why I took this trade, why I sold, I'll be more than happy to break it down in more detail.